Let me go across to Nitin Bassi, Senior Program Lead at Council on Energy, Environment and Water. Also Shilp Verma, Deputy Country Representative at International Water Management Institute with us. Let me go across to Nitin first. Nitin Bassi, let me explain to us, is this just a problem of Haryana not releasing enough water? Because we hear the same allegation made by Delhi over the last 10 to 15 years. Come every summer, you have this allegation that Haryana is not releasing enough water. Do you think that is the only problem, or we're not making sure that different pockets of Delhi are being planned in the right way for the future?
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for inviting us to this debate. I think what you are trying to point out is the right direction as well. See, this particular deficit, whether it's 300 mgd or which is now 400 mgd because of the less water that is being released or water not available in the reservoirs upstream, and therefore, it is difficult for even the upper riparian state to release them. But this issue is there for long, and just to kind of flag that, I mean, in summers, the issue becomes more serious because, the demand for water increases. And given this year, we also experienced high, temperatures. There were heat wave conditions. So demand for irrigation increased, demand for domestic supplies increased, and also the evaporation from the existing reservoirs increased. So because of all of these, the water which is allocated for Delhi was also reduced. And, if we just keep on, discussing that, when the upper riparian state will release the water which Delhi will utilize, I think this is still not going to address the deficit that we have. And unless and until, in addition to water augmentation, we also focus on how to plug the leakages that happens through the water supply system, we mainstream reuse of treated wastewater, I think it will be difficult to address this gap in the near future.
Right. Shilp, if I can come to you, we have a Jal Shakti ministry, but the national capital, come summer, is always deficient when it comes to water supply. How do we make sure that we work with a 10-year, 20-year vision for water supply for a city like Delhi?
Yeah, I think Nitin mentioned most of the points, but the main issue is that we've been depleting a bank of water that we have over the past 20, 25 years, which is groundwater. That groundwater actually services 50% of the demand in Delhi. It's not just surface water. I mean, Delhi and Haryana and other states can keep fighting over surface water, but the most reliable source of water that we have in any place is actually groundwater. And that is a resource that we've been mismanaging. You look at what is happening to groundwater levels, not only in Delhi, but every urban center. And unless we manage that resource better, I think every summer with climate change and variability in rainfall, every big urban center is going to face this problem. That is when we can use the groundwater resource as a bank. We can take out water from groundwater, use it in the summer, and then we need to then replenish that resource by recharging water by using our rainwater belt. I think that is the vision that cities like Delhi needs to have. I think we need to stop depending on upper riparian states. Cities like Delhi need to take a lead and say, we are going to become water positive. If we are going to use 1,000 million gallons per day, then we are also going to create those 1,000, either by recharging groundwater or harvesting rainwater, or by treating our wastewater. 80% of the water that we use or that the Delhi government supplies is generated as wastewater. We can treat it and reuse it. These are all the things that we can do to basically create new water resource without relying on the politics of interstate disputes.
Right. Nitin, coming to you, today a Moody's report has really highlighted the concerns on water security. They have said that if we are not able to mitigate this crisis, this will be an industrial problem for industries like coal, industries like steel as well, which use a lot of water. How do you think we need to make sure that we address our industrial concerns address the concerns of our own citizens, not just in Delhi, but across the country? What kind of a vision plan do we need to work with? And those issues that Shilp also raised and you raised about treating sewage water and making sure we replenish groundwater, we've heard these solutions earlier, but what stops different state governments, municipal bodies from not implementing them?
Yeah. See, what happens is, I mean, specifically, if I talk about the reuse of treated wastewater, now, it has to be done as per a specific plan. And unfortunately, most of our urban local bodies, be in Delhi or in any other cities, they do not have a specific plan, which they can utilize, which can tell them how much the water deficit will be there in the future, where the demand will be coming from, whether it will be for the domestic purposes, whether it will be for the industrial purposes, or agriculture that happens in the vicinity of some of the cities, including Delhi. If we have such plan, we will be, kind of a well prepared, at least in terms of knowing how much quantity of water that we will be additionally needing in meeting our demands in the future. Now, this plan won't only prepare such kind of a water balance, it will go a step ahead, highlighting or identifying where those water sources or the water will be available from. And then it will also tell us that how much of treated wastewater can be utilized. Then it will talk about the business model that can be adopted, how much of sewage treatment plant need to be strengthened, the water which comes out of that, which are those avenues. I mean, of course, in India, what we are promoting is using this treated wastewater for non-potable purposes. So which are those purposes? I mean, whether it can only be the irrigation that happens in the suburban areas, whether it will be for the road cleaning, whether it will be only for the parks and gardens, whether it will be for the construction purpose. All this will depend on the plan that you prepare. And this is not a one-time activity. This activity has to continue. So a plan which I prepare now, Shilp mentioned that, the climate change is going to impact how the water resources are available at the moment. So going further, going into the future, we again have to revisit these plans, look at how the climate is impacting the water resource availability, how the growth in the cities, in the urban areas is impacting the water availability. And thereby we have to take decision of revisiting these plans. And then a solid action can be taken. Otherwise, it will be just a random exercise of, augmenting the supply or maybe setting up a sewage treatment plant.
You're right, because it always gets caught up in politics. I've unfortunately run out of time, but I'd like to thank Shilp and Nitin Bassi for joining us on the program. It indeed is a dire situation and will only worsen if we don't invest in a long-term vision. Thank you once again for joining us. That's all we have time for on News Center. Thanks a lot.